One of the biggest motivations for me to get through treatment was my daughter Laura. She was about 2 years old at the time, and this video is about how to work with through the illness with a young child. One thing that we did was kind of involve her, and it might not be for all kids, but she was very interested in me going to all the different doctors and things. So we played doctor a lot, and she probably played doctor many hours a day, and she felt like she was part of the healing process, which she actually was. Maybe not medically, but for me, emotionally and maybe spiritually, she was very important. One of the stories I remember and I share with people is when I was getting my hair was falling out and I went to go get my first buzz cut. And actually, Laura came along with me and she was there and she saw that I was cutting my hair. And at the place that I went to, they went to go wash my head after I had all these little, you know, hairs all over my head that were cut. And so they were washing, and I'm lying there. And all of a sudden, on the side of my head, I felt these cold hands. And I said, that's weird because there's two hands over here. Where's the third hand coming from? And it was a small little palm, rubbing on the top of my head. And it was my daughter Laura's hands. And it was really funny because she was literally part of the experience of cutting my hair. And she remembers that, even though she was 2 at the time. And so I think being part of it can be okay. Now, where we drew the line was when I got at the very tail end of the chemo. I was on BCOP, and that really run me down. And so we sent my wife and Laura to visit the grandparents for the sick week. So many of you who've been through treatment, there's usually a good week and then there's a better week. Well, on BCOP, there's pretty much, for me at least, it was very challenging. There was a longer period, I think longer than a week, that they were gone. And so as the little one, she didn't have to see her dad, me, super, super sick. And so that's kind of where we drew the line on terms of how involved she was. And the third thing, of course, is as you're going through treatment, your immunity may be low. And for classic Hodgkin's lymphoma, which I had, it could affect the immune system. So you always have to be careful if your kids could get colds from their classes and their friends, to be careful. As much as you want to play with your kids and you have the time to do that, you have to take precautions that they wash their hands uh, as often as possible before they come and jump in your lap. So those are some pieces of advice for those with small children.